If you're new here, you're new to my channel, you haven't come to my channel before, I am Susin. I'm a life coach, motivational speaker, and I speak about all things spiritual, but also everything about self-development, right? Your energy, your focus, what you are focusing on. Now, the world is a magical place because every single person has consciousness. Magic is all about consciousness, focus, okay? So let's talk more about what is magic and what is witchcraft, what is painful magic, light and love magic, and all the other things. A lot of people just mix everything together. Now, let's talk more about what is magic. Magic is a conscious influence. When you consciously influence something with energy, the way awareness and intention interacts with energy, belief and action to shape the reality or the experience you're actually working towards. That's what magic is all about, right? When consciousness directs intention, right? There has to be an intention, a focus. Okay, energy alters perception. Energy alters perception. Now, your perceptions are all things that you believe in, all things that you hold dear to you to be true to you is your perception. Like you have that perception that this world is a beautiful place, that this world is a difficult place, that it's your worldview. Okay, that's your energy. So remember, your thoughts and your belief all equate to energy. You call it magic or even prayer. Manifestation has been a buzzword now for quite a while, for the last, say, 6 to 8 years. Everybody wants to talk about how to manifest a better life, how to manifest your SP, how to manifest a car, small things, big things. People are talking about manifestation as if it's something new. It's nothing new. We're manifesting, we are creating continuously, even if we're not focused with intention and we're not focused clearly. But every word you say, every step you make with your feet is a way of you manifesting on its own right now. We may call it magic, prayer, manifestation, psychology, or even ritual, right? But they all have the same mechanism, intention, focus, right? That's all magical. Okay, now that's all about magic. What is magic? Now let's talk more about witchcraft, the most scariest topic people don't want to talk about, right? Witchcraft. Witchcraft is a practice or a path using the tool called magic, right? As I said, magic is a simple thing about intention, and you use certain tools as well when you are engaging in witchcraft. Now remember that witchcraft or witches have a very bad rap because of what happened early on with the push against witches. And remember that men can also be witches. You understand, not only females. But then there was a time where a lot of people were killed because they practiced that practice of intention, magical practices. You understand? So, what is witchcraft? Witchcraft is a practice, a path that uses magic as a tool. A witch is someone who's consciously working with magical practices, right? So, witchcraft often includes rituals and spells. It includes working with nature, like nature spirits, like the earth, the moon, and herbs, psychology, not psychology, but more astrology. Working with the moon cycles is working with with astrology, right? Energy manipulation as well, manipulating energy. We do it all the time as mundane people. We are constantly manipulating energy as well. All right. And then ancestors, working with ancestor spirits and deities, depending on the tradition that which is actually practicing. Okay. Divination and tarot, runes and dreams. Now I read tarot. So what does that make me, a witch? Does it make me somebody who's practicing witchcraft? Yes, I suppose it does, right? But remember that it's no more something to be scared of, to be afraid of anymore. It's no more something that you need to say it's evil, whatever. Because we found out that yes, it's even in the same Christian church, they're deemed witchcraft to be something evil. You understand? Because that's how they use it. They always using it, right? Now, let's continue more about this witchcraft topic right now. Let's go deeper into it. Witchcraft is not one single religion, and it can be a religion. I speak about Wicca sometimes. Okay, people that practice Wicca, right, they do a form of divinations, also known as witchcraft. Now, when you hear the word witchcraft, it used to be a scary word before. Now it's not. Now you see a lot of content creators and influencers that are actually deeming themselves to be and being called themselves as witches. Okay, yet before, like maybe like 20 years ago, it would have been unheard of, like in the 80s, and yeah, early 90s or so. Okay, it still seemed like something evil. Now you hear people saying, oh my God, this person, Beyonce, is a witch, or that person's a witch, and then people think it's something bad. Not necessarily, right? Not necessarily, because time has changed. Now we are knowing more about life and magical practices and spirituality and religion. Let's continue. Okay, so witchcraft is not a single religion, right? There are many spiritual or cultural, even ancestral practices and psychological practices that people engage in. Hi, sweetie pies. Thank you for joining my live health walk. How are you doing, my sweetie pie? And is it Nadia? How are you, my loves? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm talking about a very interesting topic, right? Because I like the topic of occult and witchcraft and all those things. Now we're going into the concepts of what is magic, what is witchcraft, and what is baneful magical practices or witchcraft. Okay, so now we're talking about basically spiritual and cultural practices as well that we practice as human beings on a day-to-day basis. Some people, some cultures, this is their lifestyle, guys. It's not something that you only do on a Sunday. Unlike religion, where you're supposed to show up only on a Sunday if you're a Christian. But in most spiritual practices, it's a way you live. Like, for example, the Muslims pray like how many times? 8 times a day or something like that. So it's a lifestyle. They dress like that. Everything's about them. Is about their religion, what they believe in. Okay, spirituality, culture, ancestral practices, psychological knowledge and practices as well, and also religious and non-religious spiritual practices will use some witchcraft techniques and stuff like that, right? Let's continue. Now, for example, the African cultures, as I said, I spoke about cultures early on. The African traditional witchcraft, right? We have sangomas, who's out from South Africa. We have sangomas, we have herbalists as well, inyangas, as we call them, right? People that heal other people with herbs. Now, that's also deemed to be witchcraft. Now, remember that witchcraft was seen to be before as something evil, not anymore, because now we understand what it means. And we understand there's nothing to be afraid of, okay? Everything's intention, because even a person who happens to be a Christian can curse somebody else. That is evil, am I right? It's still seen as a form of witchcraft, evil witchcraft. That's what we can speak about the mundane. Okay, so we have African traditional practices. We got European folk Celtic witchcraft practices. I'm very familiar with that because my bloodline is also not British. It's how can I even forget? But it's not a very important part of me, right? Because I'm from mixed bloodline, right? So I'm familiar with the European folk magic because of the Celtic witches and stuff like that, right? Coming from somebody who's got some European bloodlines, right? And then the Wicca practices and the Hutu and roots work. Now, Hutu and roots work got roots in Africa, right? Wicca is very Celtic in a sense. It's very European. That's how I get to understand it that way. And then Hutu and root work is very, very South American, yes, but it has originals in Africa, in West Africa, in Nigeria and other parts of West Africa, Ghana and all those, Cote d'Ivoire and all those other countries, beautiful people, right? But I practice a form of Hutu and root work practices. Okay, then it spread with the so-called slave trade. It allowed their practice and belief system to travel across the world into South America and America. And then solitary intuitive witchcraft, which is where I fall into. Well, I practice a very solid, really intuitive type of practice, right? Coming from where I come from, basically on the Xhosa side of things, from the Xhosa background, right? So yes, like healing people, consulting people, having gifts like clairvoyance and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with being evil. My friend, I'm Brazil. I'm Brazil. Okay, how are you, my life from Brazil? I love your skin. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that compliments. I'm from South Africa, Southern Africa. I don't know why they call South Africa, because it's part of Southern Africa. So people get confused. Now, Southern Africa is huge, and South Africa is a small part of Southern Africa. But our cultures intermingle because of the tribes. Our borders are closely linked. So people from Zimbabwe coming to South Africa for years and generations. People have been coming through, having families in South Africa. People from Swaziland coming into South Africa. People from um, other country now? I forgot other country that's above us. Right? There's a lot of countries around Southern Africa, but a lot of people only know about South Africa. South Africa is part of Southern Africa, very rich in culture. And even our spiritual cultures are also intermingled as well. Right? So, let me continue. The common misperception about magic is that it's evil. It's like you saying the air is evil. Magic is like a tool. It's like you saying this, for example, this glass is evil. Magic is just a tool. It's something we use. We gave it a name called magic, but it's a practice, it's a focus. Now remember, when you start making everything evil, right, you stop people from practicing what they should be practicing and taking their power, right? So magic as a misperception is evil, it's not true. Not true at all. Magic itself is neutral, it's a tool, as I said. It's all about intention. What are you intending to do with this cup? You understand? This is a tool. You're going to drink from it. You're going to help. You're going to nourish people with it, with maybe water, smoothies, or nourish yourself with it, or else you're going to put poison in it. Now your intention becomes painful. Same as magic. Magic is just a tool. Like the cell phone as well. Whatever you use in this world, any tool, magic is like any other tool. It's neither evil or good. It's just a neutral tool. It's all based on the practitioner's intention, your intention. Now matters. Just like using a knife or to cook. You're cooking and you're cutting, but you can also use a knife to kill people. Same thing with magic. It's neutral until you use it with your own intention. Now, witchcraft is evil. It's an evil worship. Again, that's a misperception. This is a cultural myth rooted in colonization, as I said, and religious fear. Okay? So they came here in whenever 16 something, 15 something, they saw all these people in all these African countries, the undiscovered continent of Africa. We were doing our thing. We had our own spiritual practices. We used to have shamans, we used to have sangomas, and we used to have spiritual practitioners that actually communicated from the gods to the people. Even in Europe, I had the same thing in Europe. If you look at Europe's history as well, it was the same thing. It wasn't only in Africa, it happened in Europe as well. So when I was doing my whole research on spirituality and the evolution of human beings in terms of our spiritual practices, Europe had their own, Africa had their own, but the system was basically the same. Focus on the earth. Focus on the earth. Hi, Lo. How are you, sweetie pie? Is it Odo? How are you doing, my love? Everything well? Today we're talking about magical practices and also witchcraft. What is witchcraft and what is magic? And we're going to talk about the painful magic, and we can talk about light and love magical practices, all the things that people like, okay? That don't call it evil. Now, I said that magic itself, it's a misperception that it's evil, sorry. And then witchcraft is a misperception that it's a devil worship. Now, that's what happened when they came in and they saw every single person in these third world countries, even South America, and saw these people practicing their own practices. And they said, no, stop. You're practicing an evil, demonic practice. Here's my new religion, all nice, wrapped and nicely in white. Okay, here's my new religion. Why would you now follow this demonic practice when you can use my own religion? Use mine instead of using your own. Right? So now that's why it becomes a misperception, because now we understand that all there was all gaslighting on a collective scale. Okay. So this is a myth rooted in colonization, as I said, and religious fear. And many witches or people that practice witchcraft do not believe in anything outside nature and their ancestors, and that the God, we believed in God, even though we were practicing witchcraft in those days, okay? Because anyway, the word devil was coined by the church, by the Catholic Christian Church, right? Our ancestors knew that there were bad things or bad spirits, but we never give it a name called the devil. It wasn't given that. That's a Western religious perception. Okay, then the other misperception: only special people can do magic. Very, 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 very wrong. Only special people can do magic, guys. One day I was sitting and minding my own business. I was not interested in spirituality, right? I went to church. I was a born again. I did all those things in the church, okay? Not understanding I was also doing rituals. You understand, like for example, in the Catholic Church, what your ritual is, the ritual of maybe the Easter ritual, the death of Christ. That's a ritual that you do because it's a whole thing you have to, especially the Easter one, because it's Easter Sunday, it's Easter, Good Friday, Good Friday, and then there's that whole journey of Jesus going from where he was captured, and then he's taken to the certain place where he's going to be trialed, and then he's going to be so-called and crucified, and then he's going to rise again. That's a ritual that the Catholic Church repeats every single year on every year without fail, because it's reinstating that ritual, making it stronger, making you who believe in it stronger to you, like how our ancestors followed through with ancestral veneration to keep the connection with your ancestors. Now they keep the connection every year in the Christian church. They do it, all the rituals. Now we just passed the one called Christmas. You understand? Now Christmas is the birth. Easter is the death. It's a ritual that God keeps the spell anchored in this reality. So every year, with you not even forced, you do it just naturally. Every single person. I haven't came across of masses of people saying we don't want no Christmas this year. We're tired of this ritual, because of the fact that it's such an ingrained belief that people will not push against it, because that means I'm going to be now challenging my own worldview when I do that, right? So, same as what our ancestors did by keeping us closer to our ancestral belief system, is by doing certain rituals. And now they used to follow the moon, like now tomorrow's new moon, right? So there's a full moon, new moon. None of these rituals that were done by our ancestors, still done by people that practice Wicca, right, and other witchcraft traditions. You understand? We take notes of the moon cycles, and that keeps you anchored in your belief system, basically, right? So it's two different belief and approaches, but basically the same mechanism, right? Now, it says that most traditions believe that everyone has the gift, right? The gift to do some witchcraft practices to connect with who you truly are, right? Your capacity, your training, you can even train yourself, right? So everybody gets an opportunity through curiosity. I was just curious, because after I left the church, I knew there was something wrong. I knew that this thing is not what they say it is, right? So I sat back and I started doing my own research to try and understand, got back to read the Bible again, right? I understand what the New Testament is and what the Old Testament. I understand it clearly, right? Now, if you don't ask that question and start questioning your own belief system, you never get to learn something new. So you keep on repeating the same thing, like redialing the same, putting your finger on this dial and replaying it continuously without saying, no, stop. Let me question this. I don't understand this whole, maybe, for example, Christmas. What's it all about? Okay. They say that Jesus was born on a certain time of the year in December 25th, but it's snowing in the northern hemisphere. It's not possible for all what they say would happen then. Hello, sweetie pie, how are you? Hope you are having a good day. I am as well, my love. Thank you so much. Hope you are having a good day. Today we're talking about an interesting topic called witchcraft and magic and painful magic. Okay, now we're talking about an interesting topic here. So, types of magic, simple breakdown. There's different types of magic. Different types of magic. Okay, protection magic. Protecting yourself, cleansing yourself from negative energies or negative frequencies or energy, right? Creating boundaries as well, healing magic, like the Inyangas in Africa. They use healing magic, using herbs and other things as tools for healing magic. It's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's energetic well-being. You understand? That's healing magic, but all it's got to do with your food as well, what you're drinking. So they're using herbs. Okay, now let's continue. So divination, my favorite. I like divination. Gaining insight and guidance. I think that you always need guidance. So I use tarot cards, and I'm about to get myself another deck, right? So this is one. That's my second deck I have. Right, I use this. I like this is the Light Seers Tarot deck that I have. It's my favorite. And then I have the original Rider Waite one. That's the original one. I have that as well. Now, all these things are very important to understand what is witchcraft versus what is magic. Everybody has the ability to practice magic. People are doing it on a day-to-day basis. People are doing magic every day. What is magic? Magic is consciousness. Consciousness influencing your environment. The way awareness, intention, and energy, belief, and action interact to shape the experience. That's what it is, right? It's about when consciousness directs it directed with intention. Right now, you are consciousness. I am consciousness. We have consciousness. We are energy. Right now, it's nothing unusual. That's nothing alien. We are energetic. We are consciousness. We have consciousness within ourselves. Right. So let's continue. When consciousness directs intention, when you intentionally get up every morning and intentionally decide, I'm going to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, okay? Now, it's a magical practice because you want to have to release yourself. You want to have a bath and keep yourself clean. You want to keep your mouth clean. It comes with an action, okay? In a third dimensional reality, we're still using action in the physical reality to perform this magical thing that we're trying to perform. You understand? Like when you're cooking your food, right? You're putting your different ingredients. That's magical on its own because it's all about your intention, your focus, your consciousness. Now you're baking, same thing. Everything you do in this world, now you're going to gym, right? You want to drop some fat that you don't need anymore in your body. You want to build some muscle, some abs. So you do something physical, but again, it's about your intention. It's about your focus. It's clear, right? And then there's that beating, that rhythm, the repetition is the rhythm. Now you have the repetition of going every day to the gym or every Thursday or every three times a week. Now you know you do certain exercises, okay? They say a certain exercises for the arms to make the muscles more defined and stronger. Certain exercises are for your back to make your back more strong and defined. You see, now it's focus and intention, but it's still magical, although it's connected to the physical action that you have to take every day, right? Continuously creating that rhythm. That's why I think it is Napoleon speaks about hypnotic rhythm, because that's very important when it comes to magic. That is why we have Christmas every year. We have Easter every year as well, because it's the death and the birth, to keep that rhythm going, the frequency going, and to keep that frequency zoned in, to make people believe in that thing of continuously, year in and year out, right? Our ancestors do the same thing. Now we have full moon, new moon, and all those things. People that practice witchcraft, they look at the cycles of the moon and they have certain rituals they do right through each phase. You understand? When seasons are coming, seasons are changing, new seasons are coming in, old seasons are ending. You get like winter's ending, now we're going to summer, things like that. There's certain rituals that are done religiously, keeping that rhythm. Your relationship with the divine is kept strong. Basically, that's what it means. If yes, you listen to Psalms 150, there's the same frequency. Yes, especially the Psalms are used a lot in Hutu. In Hutu magical practices, the Psalms are used a lot. You understand? Because it's a magical practice. Religion is also magical on its own. Okay. So these are things we need to consider when we try to understand what is magic. Okay. Now, let's understand that magic may be called prayer. Magic may be called manifesting. It's just a psychology. I was just thinking, I was doing a ritual. It's all magical. It all uses the same similar mechanisms of focus and intention. Umpo, how are you doing, my love? You hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining my live. Today we're talking about a very interesting topic called what is magic and what is witchcraft, and basically what is painful magic and what is light magic, magic with light and love, all based on intention, right? All on intention, because everything is about the intention. Okay, so today we will talk about that, right? Magic versus witchcraft. Right now, I spoke and I said that magic is something that we use with intention because we have consciousness. Consciousness creates magical activities or events in our life all through your focus and your intention. So magic is force or method, right? What is it? Force or method? Force or a method. You're either forcing the magic or using a method, a ritual, right? Now we hear about people like Aleister Crowley who actually use a lot of ritual in his magical practices. Yes, sorry, sister, but I don't believe in magic. But I hope your stream goes well. Thank you so much, my love. You don't believe in magic, but you're a magical being, which is quite ironic. But anyway, it's fine, my lovey. Everybody has their beliefs. It's fine. Okay, thank you so much for even coming in and saying hi. Okay. And thank you for your positive wishes that my life goes well. Thank you so much, sweetie pie. I do appreciate you. I appreciate every single person. Your views don't have to be the same as mine, right? All you have to do is take what resonates with you and leave the rest. I like people that are honest and are sincere and polite, because the world would be a better place if we're all sincere and polite, right? The world would be a better place if we're all sincere and polite. There wouldn't be conflicts and wars if we just say, well, I disagree with your belief system, my sister, but I wish you all the best and I'm gone. Simple as that. I like that approach. Thank you so much for that. I do understand. True, I think a lot of people don't understand the term magic. It's true. Magic is not entertainment. It's not what you see in Hollywood. Magic is not entertainment. It's not what you see in Hollywood, right? Now that's where the misperception is. If you read the book or even watch the movies of the other book, what's it called again? I forgot. That name just comes and goes. That very very famous books that came out, and now Harry Potter. Yes, Harry Potter speaks about magic in a very entertaining Hollywood way, right? And yet magic is very mundane because we're doing it every single day. Like now, this is magical, right? I'm using the internet to attract all these people joining my live, right? Wherever you are now pulled in here. Maybe call that magical. Have you ever did magic on someone? Me, all the time. You do it all the time, my lovey. When you say to somebody, I love you, I need you to come here, and you think of somebody who says, okay, I'm thinking of this person. I'm hoping this person walks in, or this person gives me a call. That is magical. You do it all the time. I'll be sitting in my office there at work, and I'm thinking of my husband, and I'm tuning into him. What is he doing now? I just hope you could phone me, or you just after a few minutes you just get a message on your phone. That is magical. You understand? Yes, we do it every single day. Just that we think it's something different, but it is magic. Okay, now remember, there's what we call magic can be verse, black or white magic as well, right? A lot of people speak about that. Okay, what is magic and what is witchcraft? I said magic is force or method. Force or method. You can use force or you can use a ritual, a method. Okay, witchcraft on the other end is a practice of craft that uses magic. Now, witchcraft uses magic, magic that we all have access to. Right? Like, for example, in the mundane world, people think, okay, I'm not practicing witchcraft, I'm not using magic. But when I'm praying to God and I'm getting my answers, I say, God, please be there for me, right? May I get to the office safe, or may I get this, and then you get all those things that you want, right? That is magical on its own. And you think that you're not performing magic. You are using your consciousness and your focus to get that thing that you want. You're petitioning God, the energy source, for what you want, and you get to that's magical. So people that think they are not practicing magic, they are actually doing it every single day. Because people think it's something evil, but it's not. It's just it's a method of how we live here in this world. Okay, I want something for Christmas. I pray to God and I say, God, I want something, a gift, and the next minute I get that thing. Isn't that magical? I apply for a job, I go for the interview, I get called for the interview. Out of thousands of people that applied, I get called for that interview. Isn't that magical? Right? I go to that interview, I wait a period, maybe as long as 3 months, and I get called in to start the job. Isn't that magical? Because it's energy. It's energy and focus. Magic in the simplest form is all about energy and focus. Simple. Nothing too woo and all the other stuff right now. Both are ancient human ways of understanding and engaging with the unseen, magic and witchcraft. Witchcraft is the craft, as I said, it's a focus, it's a practice. Magic is a force or a method. Like for my method, my magical method will be for example, a prayer, even a petition, maybe even a affirmation. I'm speaking into the situation. I'm saying that my life as well. I'm saying that money comes to me easily. When you see those things on TikTok where they say there was money affirmations, right? They say those rhyming words about money. Money comes to me easily, money comes to me freely, money comes to me continuously, money comes to me, money. It's a rhyme now. That's also energy and focus. Now you're focusing on that money. You believe it's coming to you freely. You believe that it's coming to you frequently. It's a beat, and you believe it. You think it right, and this is your worldview. That then it becomes money comes to you frequently, and you're never short of money because of it's a beat. It's already a spell. You are magical already, without you even knowing that you're already magical being. Okay, both Asians, both witchcraft and magic is Asian practices, ways of understanding and engaging with the world, right? I'm just reading my notes here, guys, right? So now let's look at magic versus religion. Interesting one, right? Now, white or black magic, why these two are labeled so? Why is there white magic and black magic? Or what we call left hand part, which is the black magic, and right hand part, which is the white magic, right? Why do people coin it so? Right now, white magic, why they call it that is it's all about the intentions, about love, healing. Black magic or left hand magic is all about getting what you want no matter what. Right. I don't care what the consequences are. I will deal with those consequences. I'm going to do this thing to get what I want. You understand? They have different moral codes, in other words. A white magical practitioner will have a different moral code to somebody who practices the left hand part, which is the black magic, as they call it, right? So, guys, if you're interested in this type of thing, please go ahead and do the research, right? Because all this I'm talking about is out there already. It's nothing hidden. Please talk about cleansing magic. I will do so, Lovey. I will do so. Cleansing magic is very intense. It's very simple. It's nothing. There's nothing difficult about cleansing magic. You don't have to do big rituals for cleansing magic. It's about the intention. Lighting your paper or lighting a white candle, right? Using a crystal as well to cleanse yourself is also a form of magic practice. Okay, now let's continue with painful magic. I want to speak about painful magic, right? Painful magic refers to spiritual energetic practices that intend to cause harm, restriction, or consequences or bad consequences on other people, right? This can range from binding someone binding someone from doing harm. Binding is also a painful magic. Binding. I don't know if you know about binding magic, okay? Then returning energy sent towards you back to sender. Right? We do it all the time and we think it's something that's only light magic. It's painful magic. It's part of dark magic. Protecting wardings that repel or reflect. Now, wardings, when you put like protection around your house, is called warding, where you ward your territory with maybe crystals, maybe a protection herbs or oils. Whenever you mix some oils with herbs, you get protection oil, right? Or cleansing oil, whatever it is, and you put it there. Even salts, pure salts. What I normally do, very, very, very mundane way of protecting or warding your energy from dark, your space, your energy is where you live, right? Your room, your house, your bed, your space is your energy. You're part of that space, and then your energy is there. Now, protecting your space is about you intentionally doing simple things like use a lemon, make a cross, cut across but not very deep. Pour your what they call it, salt in the crevice of where you cut, and it puts in every corner of your house. It's different to warding. This is now protection. Okay, remember there's different type of things as I said. Protection and warding that repels negative energies. Hexes or curses, intentions or interruptions, punishments or weakening, or to weaken you or punish you, one of the two, right? So painful magic is not a single moral category. It's very, very expanded. It's about intention, awareness, as I said before, right? And also proportionally matter as well. Okay, so painful magic is not a single moral category. It's quite a huge one. It's all about intention, about awareness, about proportionally matter. Proportional matters, not matters, but matter. Like for example, your body is matter, right? The phone is matter. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's you now protecting all these things with certain intentions and items, like for example, pure salt, lemon as well, very protective. All right, let's continue. So why do people use painful magic? Humans turn to painful magic for several reasons. Let's explore them. Number one, justice system doesn't protect you. The justice system of this world is only physically extends only the physicality of this life, right? It doesn't go into the spiritual justice or spiritual protection. That's why people use painful magic, right? That's why they use it for protection, because the justice system cannot intervene in your spiritual attack, okay? Then abuse goes unpunished. When somebody has been abusing others and the abuse goes unpunished, all right? Then power is uneven as well. If you feel helpless and you feel powerless, people will then start using painful magic. The vulnerable or ignored, that happens a lot in this world. That's why a lot of people who use painful magic come from a place where they've been abused, where they've been criticized, where they've been bullied, where they've been brought down, and it's unfair. So they decide to use painful magic for protection, to make themselves feel stronger. You understand? Remember one thing, guys, all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. So you are permitted to use painful magic. That's your right. Right? But understand it might not be too beneficial for you in the long term. In the long term, a person that's going to do something painful to somebody else is thinking about the now. I'm feeling pain now. I'm feeling abused now, so I'm going to go put a spell on this person, a painful spell. Right? You're not thinking long term. You're not thinking about justice and balance, because remember that the world, the physical world, speaks about justice. It's just being justice. Puts him in jail, punish him. Spirits or divine source thinks about balance. It's about balance, okay? What have you done to attract that thing in your life, okay? What is your role in you getting abused? What is your role? What is the purpose of the whole thing? People move themselves to unhealthy relationships, for example. You have a relationship with a person who's a narcissist, and that person abuses you, and you want love so much, you with this person is abusing you. You understand your role that you played. You permitted it to happen to you, and now you're angry. Now you go to a spiritual seer that used dark magic or sangoma, and now you throw curses on that person, or you try and harm that person. So spirit is looking at it this way. What's the balance? There has to be a balance. What is your role that you played? Or you an innocent totally? And most people are not innocent totally in anything, okay? Except if you're a baby or child. But if you're an adult, you made the decision to be in a relationship. Okay? So this is how it goes. So spirit is looking for balance. Not for punishment, not to deem the person evil, because there's no evil people, only evil intentions. Right? There's no evil people. It's like you saying spirits, God is evil, because God is people. God is all of us. We're part of God. So if you say somebody's evil, you're saying that God is evil as well. So look at it that way, right? Look at it that way, in a holistic way. Because God, if God is everything and created everything, even the so-called evil people that do evil things are all parts of God. That is why Jesus in the Bible, in the New Testament, spoke about forgiving and loving and showing love. Return hate with love, because he understood that everything is God. Even the one that's doing hateful things has lost his connection with God temporarily. Has lost his connection to God temporarily. So we need to have compassion for other people. So when people start using painful magic for protection to make themselves more stronger, right? Or maybe for revenge, whatever it is, you're not looking at the long-term effects of it. You understand? It's very important. And I learned the hard way, because my guides gave me the opportunity to do a painful thing, painful magic spell. Very intention, very simple with intention on somebody, right? However, I learned through the process that this thing is actually not going to be good for me in the long term. This is not going to be good for my consciousness, for my future success in life. So I pulled back. I understood that if I hurt this person, continue hurting this person, and it was working, because my intention is very strong. Right? It was working. So I learned, okay, you know what? Let me have compassion. I understand this person's coming from a place of disconnection to God. His connection to God, or her connection to God, is disconnected. Right? They're operating from the ego. Let me let go. Let me try and just forgive them and try the other approach. You understand? Before it's too late, before I go too deep into this whole thing of exerting pain with intention on another person. And believe me, I did nothing physical. It was all energetical. All energy with focus and intention. All I did is use my imagination, and I focus on this thing that I want to happen to this person. And it was happening. I could see this person is actually suffering. I could see this person's getting very, very, very frustrated. They're getting more confused every day. I could see that no, this thing is really working. So I pulled back, because my higher self reminded who I am, that I am one of the light. And remember that sometimes we can forget who we are. You understand? This is a light realm, a realm of light and love. Okay, that is why Jesus came in the first century to teach us that this is a realm of light and love. Okay, so whatever bad happens to you, you're supposed to return it with something positive by looking at that person with compassion, instead of using painful magic and writing a spell, or you using a voodoo doll and putting pins on them and hurting the other person. That doesn't help, because in the long term, it affects you. It affects your karma. It affects your future. That's why I find that painful magic for protection, yes, to protect, but not to lash out. You understand? To protect, hold your house, use your crystals for protection, use prayer, use the archangels as well. Okay, So a person wants to know about cleansing. So that's what cleansing is all about, removing. Let's talk about cleansing, okay, before I go on. It's about removing what's really been put on you, okay, or even in your environment, right? In Southern Africa and Africa, we use certain herbs like sage herbs and other things. In South Africa, we call it people. Now there's different types of people, by the way, right? So the ones you can use specifically to douse your house and cleanse it, to remove whatever, right? Whatever's been attached to you. Now remember, you are energy. So energy attracts energy as well, right? If you are aligned to that attack from somebody else, who somebody puts a negative spell on you with their words, or maybe even use some medicine, stuff like that, right? Now you have to be aligned to it. This place is a very safe place. The third world or third dimensional reality is very safe, right? We make it unsafe by us thinking it's unsafe, okay? Because for you to be affected by negative Hutu or voodoo, you need to be aligned to it. You need to be in low frequency. You must have disbelief in yourself. You must have fear. Okay, when you don't have fear and you have confidence, you're not likely to be in that frequency to actually match that other person's frequency. You always must be above. That is why in the New Testament, Jesus was always in high frequency. He forgave everybody else. So whoever hurts him, whoever puts a word of negativity against him, you could always repel it because his frequency was high. You understand what I'm trying to say? Except for when he gave himself over for the ritual, the blood ritual, the sacrifice. That was done with intention. It wasn't done as Jesus or Yeshua being a victim. It was done with intention. Okay, any other question? Everything is just depending on which kind you want, good or bad. Yes, correct. It's all about what you want. As I said, it was intention. Very important. Thank you for that comment, Lavi. Or is it Odo? Thank you so much. Everything's about intention. Do you want to use painful magic or you want to use positive love and light? It's up to you. So how do people use painful magic? I said before, the justice system to protect themselves cannot protect them, so decide to use painful magic. Abuse goes unpunished. For revenge, they begin to also use painful magic to exert revenge on a person. Or power is uneven, or they're feeling powerless, or for them to gain power, they use a painful magic spell or whatever, right? And then the vulnerable is ignored. When you see the world is full of people being abused, bullied, right? Then people use painful magic. That is why in the last, say, 100 years or so, the most asked for type of magical practices, second to bring a men or love spells. The first thing is money, protection, right? Wanting my money back, yes. And also painful magic to hurt the other person because I want his husband or I want her partner, whatever story it may be. Now, it's very popular because people believe in scarcity. In a world that focuses on scarcity, we're going to be more focused on painful magic, okay? If we believe in fear, that I need to protect myself, this world is unsafe, right? Your magical practices will be based on painful magic because you don't trust life. So fear is based on not trusting, not knowing, not trusting in yourself and trusting in life. So you start using painful magic spells. Okay, right. Let me continue. Boundary enforcements. Now, not all harm is physical, as I said. I didn't touch that person physically. All I needed to do is think about that person. I knew that person's name and surname. I knew exactly what they looked like. I just imagined this thing that I wanted to happen to them, and it happened. It was happening. So another thing, when you're doing this type of things, it's all a focus, right? So you continuously every day you're doing it. You're saying the spell. You say whatever you want. You say whatever you want to happen to that person. Now, remember, guys, this is all for information purposes. I'm not telling people to do anything bad to other people. This is all about information, right? I'm telling you I'm human. I've also fallen into the trap of trying to use anger because of my anger and feed into my anger and then start reacting from my anger. And it's powerful. It does work. It's very, very powerful. So you must be careful. That's why we're always teaching people to think about love and light. Forgiveness is key for a happy life, for a happy experience because there's karma, right? And there's good and there's bad karma, right? Everything that you put out is what you get back in your life. So if you put out something negative, you will get negative things in your life, right? Now remember, there are people who don't care about that. As long as I get what I want, I don't care. Please talk about cleansing. I mentioned about the cleansing story. Okay, any other questions before I go on? Right, so please talk about it already. Okay, I think there's no other question. Okay, let's see. True, I think a lot of people don't understand the term of magic. Yes, thank you for saying that, for your comments. I do appreciate it. Sorry, sister. Okay, the ones that left. Thank you so much for that, Mpo. Thank you for your comments. Who else also said something? Yes, if you listen to Psalms 150, there's the same frequency. Yes, for sure. Psalms are used a lot for protection. Psalms is used a lot for protection, a lot. That's, I even learned that in the Christian, when I was in the Christian church, right? Like when you pray, if you want protection from God, you use Psalms. Certain verses or Psalms in the Bible are very helpful for that. Nothing can protect your body. Your soul is what needs to be healed. That's true. Okay, but your body is also important as well. Remember that your soul can being effective to you in this experience of life needs your body to be healthy, because your soul is keeping you here, right? Using the body, so your body is keeping the soul connected. Without a body, then you can't have a human experience, right? Your soul doesn't need the body. However, the soul is that part of you which is more connected to God, your divine source. You understand? Yeah. That's the difference. Your body is so important. Your body should be healthy. Now remember that a curse can manifest as a sickness. A curse can manifest as bad luck in your life. Whatever you do doesn't work out. You understand? That's in the physical as well. You understand? Yeah. Hope you're having a good day and you are all, God bless. Yes, we all, sweetie pie, be having a great day. Let me finish off right. And I spoke about the whole concept of boundary enforcement. People use that for boundary enforcement to protect themselves, right? Not to harm people physically or emotional or psychic. Spiritual energetic vibrations are real, right? And they are. People can violate you on a spiritual level, like I mentioned before. Painful workings are sometimes used to say, you are not crossing this boundary again, right? So, that's what I talk about warding. You're not crossing this boundary again. You can ward yourself from other people's negative intentions, right? But just by you saying a prayer every morning, I now put the love of God over me. Wherever I go, I'm protected by the angel. You speak to angel, is it Gabriel? Ask Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel to protect you. Ask your guide to protect you. That's how you can actually ward yourself physically. Wherever you go, you put a light around yourself as well, around your aura. You imagine yourself with lights around your body. That's a form of protection as well. Very important, right? Now, restoration and balance is also used for balance, as I said. In older systems, magic was not about morality, right? It's about balance, as I mentioned before. Spiritual practices are all based, they should be based on balancing things out, because that's how the system works. Yeah, it's not about morality, it's about balance. When something interrupts your harmony, cause you to feel imbalance, a force is applied to counter that, those words, those intentions. Okay, so your force, that's how you counter those negative influences, by you speaking light and love and protection over yourself. And understand that you're innocent. Understand that you have done nothing wrong to that person. So the best thing to do when you pray in the mornings or even in the evenings, I ask God to help that person to forgive me. Or I ask for forgiveness. If I hurt you in any way with intention or without intention, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Right? That's a way of also warding or also protecting yourself, because you're asking God to protect you, because you understand maybe you might have hurt that person unintentionally with your words and your actions, but you're asking for forgiveness. That also creates protection over you, because now you become an innocent. So whatever that person puts against you will go back to that person, back to sender. Right? So remember that in this world, in this world we call evil, because it's evil intention. Anything that's not got to do with light and love, is seen to be evil, right? Not really. And the fact that the question even exists shows how deeply humans have been conditioned. We are conditioned, right? Protection is not cruel. Defense is not domination. Boundaries are not evil. So when you are using magic for protection, you're not doing an evil thing. Basically, you are just closing up your boundaries and claiming your space and claiming yourself, because we have the right to do so. All right. So we're not like going around and cursing people, attacking people spiritually, but you have the right to protect yourself. If you feel somehow that you're being spiritually and energetically being attacked, you can start protecting yourself, and that's not evil. You're now preserving your own space, and you're creating boundaries, spiritual boundaries, right? So what really matters? Are you acting from the fear or clarity? Number one. Number two, are you acting from revenge or self-preservation? Are you acting from unconscious rage or conscious choice? That's what I always say. Don't respond when you're angry. Cool down. Settle yourself so you're able to respond consciously with clarity. Now you thought about this thing and now you respond. That's how it works. Okay. A lot of people just respond. They don't they just react, don't respond. Now response means I had a chance to think about the situation. I had a chance to observe it and now think clearly before I now respond. Now, a lot of people that use painful magic in this world now are being triggered by anger. Instead of you sitting back and thinking, okay, what does this thing mean? How do I respond in a more mature way for a long-term benefit for me and that person? Because that person is clearly not in the right mind at that time. They are taken by jealousy, or they're taken by the belief in lack, because there's two things that really push people to hurt other people. You're either jealous of that person, or you believe there's not enough. You're feeling in lack and you're feeling fear of not having, so you want to lash out and attack another person because you feel that person is more successful than you. This is what happens a lot. Now, she's got that man. I want that man. She's married to that man. So I'm going to throw a curse on her so that she can break up with that man, so the man can come to me. You see, you're causing an imbalance. You're causing an imbalance. That's based on lack and fear. Because you fear being alone. You're fearful because you believe that there's not enough good men out there. So I must have that person's husband. She doesn't deserve to be happy. Only I also need to be happy. Right now, that's where you think the resource of love is scarce. That there's no good men out there. So you go around hurting other women because you feel what they have, you want it. And why must she only have it and you must not have it? All those things cause people to use painful magic. When people go see sangomas or dark spiritual practitioners, sorry, because not all sangomas are the same. Others are very light focused, and some are focused more on the dark, and some are also neutral in the middle. You understand? Because in spirituality, there's a middle path as well, where you will recognize and acknowledge the light, the right hand side, and you acknowledge the left hand side, the darkness. And you're in the middle. You don't take sides, but you use both when you need to. Like, for example, protection and painful magic. Use it when you need to use it, right? Not to lash out to other people, but to protect your clients and yourself. That's how it works, right? So it's neither bad or a good thing. It's just a tool that we use. You understand? So magical, as I said, magic is something we use all the time. Witchcraft and witches are intentionally having a practice using magic, the same magic that every person uses. As I said, when you pray to God and when you apply for a job, you have no way you're going to get that job, but your intention of getting it and your belief you can get it comes to you, right? Your alignment to it, that's magical. Now, they're using the same concept. The people that practice witchcraft, they're using the same concept. There's nothing evil around it, nothing bad about witchcraft. It's just a practice, and then magic is the tool. And you too, as an ordinary person, can also use magic as a tool for your own life. Okay, you too yourself can also use magic as a tool for your own life. Like you want something, right? You know that your will and your intention is powerful, right? You want to start this new business, you're intending, you picture this business, you can see the logo, you can see everything, and now you start. now doing the nitty-gritty. You start the business plan. Now you know who your clients are going to be, how you're going to reach your clients, or how you're going to charge them. You see, that's all magical practices. And we think that's not magic. No, it's not. It is, basically. It is exactly what it is. It's intention, it's focus. As I said, magic is something that we use every single day. As I'm closing my life now, what is magic, right? Magic, I said, is your consciousness and your unconsciousness influencing your surroundings. The way your awareness, which is part of your consciousness, awareness is saying I'm now focused. Awareness is about focus. Okay, I'm now focusing. These are my intention. I'm taking my awareness and I'm putting in this, focusing on a certain thing. All right, it's all about energy, right? So the way awareness, intention, energy, and belief, action interact to shape your reality, or the experience that you want. Thank you, sweetie pie. How are you doing? You look like Bang Chan from Stray Kids. I'm not sure what that means, Lovey. But anyway, whatever. Thank you so much for that insight from your side. What else? It's something. Do you have another message? Right. So remember that my channel is all about spirituality, self-development, and self-awareness. I speak about spiritual concepts. I speak about self-development concepts as well. And today's topic about magic and witchcraft and painful magic. I broke down basically what is magic, what is witchcraft, okay? And then basically how magic is used by people who practice witchcraft. So witchcraft is intentional practice, okay? You can say that now people that do tarot, right? And I do tarot. So does that make me a witch? Am I practicing in witchcraft? Whatever you want to believe it is, yes, it is what it is, exactly what you believe, right? So basically it's about I'm a light seer, right? I practice divination and magical practices. I do spells as well, like how you do every day. When you say something with your mouth, you are setting a spell. You are sending out spells to the world about yourself and about others. Everybody's using spells. Spells is nothing new. It's nothing like woo-hoo. You even writing a letter. I love you, my sweetie pie. I think you're awesome. Even when the rappers are writing raps, those are all spells. Those are all spells. They have energy, they have intention. They are creating something. You understand? Yeah. So everything that comes out of our mouth becomes a spell because it's words, and there's energy, there's attention, there's direction, there's focus. So when you are writing that letter to your lover, you are directing that spell, those words, to that lover, to that specific person. Okay. When you are saying a prayer every morning to God, divine consciousness, you're directing that spell to divine source. That energy, when there's an intention, it has focus. That's how it works. There's nothing woo-hoo about what's going on here. So spells are just simple things that we do all the time. Get up in the morning, say a prayer. It's a spell on its own. We get up in the morning and do affirmation. You're affirming. You are grounding yourself to this belief that you believe in. That is a spell. You understand? Everything that got words that have intention, and everybody is using intention when they're using their words. They're setting spells. So here are people listening to songs and you're singing along and you're repeating those spells into your own life. So now whenever I hear a song that I like, I always ask myself, what does it mean to me? Right? When I'm saying these words, because I'm casting spells on myself when I'm saying these words, because I believe in them so much. They make me excited, they make me happy. So you got to be careful the type of music that you're watching or listening to, the music videos that you're watching, because everything is winded around spells and focus and intention. So you need to also understand that as well, because everything is energy, right? So when consciousness directs intention, as I said before, right? Intention moves energy. You are energy. Your words are in energy. What is the intention when it's moving that energy? That energy is you. The energy is the universe, this whole reality, this whole matrix reality is based on energy, right? Energy alters perception, as I said. That's why a lot of people will listen to low frequency music, their perceptions gets altered because they're repeating this music. They get so immersed in it, so they get affected by the frequency of that music, and they become low frequency. They start getting depressed. and stuff like that. Start questioning their own reality, because now their perceptions will get rewired. That's why it's important. So when you're strolling through your social media, ask yourself, this content that I'm watching, that I'm engaging, that I'm consuming, is it adding value to me, or is it making me doubt myself, doubt my reality? Does it make me feel scared? What is the energy that it actually puts on me? You need to have that intention. Very important, okay? I'm about to close now, close my life, guys. Okay, now remember that intention is everything. And magic is based on intention. Your consciousness, you are consciousness, right? You have consciousness and you are conscious, right? As long as you can say you are focused, you know who you are, you click on something consciously, that means you are a conscious being, right? You get up in the morning and say, okay, I am so and so. You are a conscious being. I'm gonna comb my hair now, make a certain style. That's a conscious decision, because you are a conscious being. Okay, now your conscious influence over life is magical on its own. All right. The way your awareness, intention, energy, belief, and action interact to shape your reality, as I said before. Right now, remember, you can call it magic, you can call it prayer, you can call it manifesting, you can call it psychology, or even ritual, but it's all using the same similar mechanisms. It's using your consciousness. It's all about consciousness, focus, intention, energy, basically. Okay, guys? So if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. My channel is quite a growing channel. It's a new channel, right? So if you like this type of topics, or spirituality, self-awareness, and self-development, right? And you like maybe magical topics about protection and all those other things, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Don't be shy. All right, be my friend. We can now be friends. We can be chummies. You can ask me questions. We can engage and get to know each other as well, because I am a life coach and a public speaker. So I normally coach people. Like currently, I'm busy with a package that I'm going to market very soon and let people know, right? I've got a coaching package that's going to be valid for 3 months, from February till April. Yeah, February, March, April, at a certain price. If people are interested in self-development and spirituality and self-awareness, to level up for 26, right? Because this year is a year of expansions, but you decide if how you want to expand, okay? So if you're interested as well, when you see that advert, just send me a message on my website. I will be adding that to the marketing communication as well, right? And my WhatsApp, my business WhatsApp as well, and my business email address. So if you're interested in taking part in that one, it's gonna be a great advantage for a lot of people, right? Basically, it's going to help us become better people. Now, remember, I don't coach people to become better people. I coach people to be more expanded in their awareness and in their consciousness, people to take responsibility of their own experience. Yeah, and it's a reality. It's not about me telling you how to live. It's about me helping you unpack your own life experience and all the areas where you're having your challenges, okay? Remember that a coach is not there to change your life, because you change your life. A coach is there to guide you step by step, giving you my time and my energy as well, right? So I got a special price for that package, that coaching package that I will be advertising before the end of the month, end of January, right, guys? So as I said, if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, okay? Because there's exciting things coming through, right, for this year. All right, so guys, have a great Saturday further, and remember to be kind to yourself and to others, right? Remember, every respect is key. Being respectful is very important. Respecting each other, allowing people to be who they are, and not criticizing people, because when you criticize other people, you actually criticizing yourself as well, okay? So have a great Saturday further, and remember that you are love, and remember to love too as well. Okay, guys, keep well. Bye-bye.